Okay, so good morning, class, and welcome to your credit and collection class. So for today, we'll talk about different classes and kinds of credit. So credit of general acceptability. No? So this refers to credit instruments that are widely accepted as a means of payment because of strong public confidence. So some examples are bank checking accounts, demand deposits, and bank-issued payment instruments. No? So class, when we talk about credit, no? So previously we talked about the definition of credit. No? So this time we'll talk about the different kinds of it. No? So for starter, we have this general acceptability, meaning this is widely accepted as means of payment. So we owe someone, we use this different type of credits as a means of payment. No? So for example, mm, demand deposits. No? These are funds deposited in a bank that can be withdrawn anytime without prior notice because basically we own this money, we own these funds. We just put it in the bank. No? So example, checking account or current account. A business owner keeps 100,000 in checking account and uses checks to pay suppliers. So the money can be withdrawn or transferred anytime. No? So uh, in a bank, we open an account, there are different types of it. No? So it's either checking because it's backed with the check book. No? So literally, you write a check, no? And then you issue it to someone that you would like to pay or transfer money. And then savings, this is more convenient. Savings account with ATM access. Example, a student withdraws money from an ATM to pay for school supplies. So funds are available on demand even if interest is earned. Even in checking and savings account, both of these are earning interest. No? But it's low, no? Basically, we do not encourage people to store their money in the bank, no? Especially, well, we recommend it if you're just using it for operational purposes. Payroll account, employees receive their salary through a bank account and can withdraw it immediately. So there's no fixed maturity. Funds are payable on demand. So for these two or for these three um, types of bank accounts, all of these are interest earning. And then the third one, there are cases where there is actually no interest, no, because this is just a pass through. So what's happening, class, in the payroll account is we tied up with a bank in order for us to make our payroll process easier. So instead of putting all your putting the salary or payroll in an envelope, we just simply transact it using the uh, payroll integration, no, between our system and our bank. In fact, plus, no, so I remember I'm not sure if I mentioned this already with you. I own a franchise, no. We have two branches now, one in SM Sukat and one in SM Molino. No? So my partner actually runs it on a day-to-day basis. So um, our partner bank, BDO Sukat, actually offers us to partner with them for our payroll. No? But then we only have two staff for each branch. No? So it's not economical or it's not really efficient for us to do it because while there's an offer to tie up with the bank with BDO Sukat, there's actually a processing fee behind it. So um, and they can only waive that processing fee if we maintain a certain balance with the bank, no, with them. No? So I think if I remember right, last year they were offering this feature uh, in exchange for 500,000 pesos maintaining balance. But as you know, for small businesses, it's challenging to keep that amount of money, especially when you're starting. No? So at that time, we just started our franchise sometime in 2023, and then we opened another branch in 2024. No? So we're basically new in this business. So, oops. So bank issued payment instruments. No? So financial instrument issued by banks that are accepted as payment in transactions. No? So checks, debit cards, manager's check or cashier's check. Checks, these are pretty much normal. Debit cards, no, instead of us withdrawing money, we just use our debit card. So debit card is backed or linked with our savings or checking account. So remember in our previous slide, we mentioned about savings account with ATM access. So most of these two, they have maintaining balance. No? So for checking account, I have one with RCBC. The maintaining balance is just 10,000 pesos. No? And obviously, ordering a checkbook isn't free. So I think I paid, if I'm not mistaken, 350 pesos for one booklet. And then for savings account with ATM access, no, you open a usually this is also back with the passbook. So you open um, a savings account with passbook. We will also issue you with an ATM or a debit card. Manager's check or cashier's check. This is a buyer uses manager checks to pay for a car. The bank guarantees payment, making it widely acceptable. The reason being is because manager's check or even a cashier's check is always backed with a saving or checking account. So that's why it's widely accepted because it's guaranteed. Basically, the bank guarantees that you're going to be paid. So credit of limited acceptability. No? So earlier we talked about generally accepted credit. No? So this time it's limited because there are limitations in terms of these are only accepted by specific parties or under certain conditions. So some examples are trade trade credit between suppliers and stores, promissory notes, installment contracts, and store installment plans. Now, so later on, we'll look at each of these examples. So unlike generally accepted credit, these instruments depend on trust between specific parties and cannot be universally used as a medium of exchange. Now, so this is back with a contract, no, or agreement between two parties, no, the seller and the buyer. So supplier allows a store to receive goods now and pay later. So this is trade credit, no? Trade credit between suppliers and stores. No? So usually we also hear about purchase order or PO back um, transactions. No? So if you notice when you go to a gas station, so there are some gas stations with posters like PO issued, accepted. No? So meaning they offer trade credit. No? So especially for huge companies, you don't have to pay them money outright, but you have trade credit. No? So meaning you have in major companies, we call this line of credit. So you have this certain amount, you have this limit, um, and you can purchase up to this limit. So say for example, for gasoline stations, you have purchase order, you have a credit of 10,000 pesos. So meaning you can gas up as much as 10,000 pesos without you paying money outright. No? So obviously, you have to pay it at a certain terms. No? So for example, again, grocery supplier and sari-sari store or convenience store. No? So sari-sari store, um, these are the typical community stores, no, in the Philippines. A rice supplier delivers 20 sacks of rice to a sari-sari store today. The store agrees to pay after 30 days. No? So that's our term. This is a trade credit because payment is delayed. No? So again, this is based on trust and confidence. Do you think the grocery supplier would allow this if he doesn't trust the sari-sari store owner? Obviously, we don't. Well, these two parties wouldn't be involved in this such transaction if they don't trust each other. Okay, clothing wholesaler and retail shop. So a clothing wholesaler supplies shirts to a retail store on 30 days credit. The store sells the items first, then pays the supplier. This helps the store operate without immediate cash. No? So this is always happening. This is also true, no, between uh, like for example in SM department stores and even in pharmaceutical in pharmacies. So this is also different with consign or consignee arrangement plus. No? So this is basically a trade credit. Promissory note. No? So promissory note is a written promise to pay a specific amount of money on a certain date. So again, this is again back with a contract or an agreement. No? So personal loan between friends. So we do not encourage this, but in reality, this is actually happening. No? So therefore, so for example, Juan borrows 20,000 from Maria. Juan signs a promissory note promising to repay in 3 months. So the note serves as a legal proof of the debt. It's just a piece of paper, no? But it's legally binding because this is signed and agreed upon by two parties, by two people. In this example, Juan and Maria. Small business loan from a bank. Small business borrows 200,000 from a bank. The owner signs a promissory note stating the amount, interest, and due date. This document formalizes the loan. No? So we also have this, no, sa SBL from banks. Installment contracts. A contract where payment is made in regular installments over time. Example, motorcycle purchase. A customer buys a motorcycle worth 90,000, pays 15,000 down payment, and the balance monthly for 12 months. Ownership is often transferred after full payment. Ito class, no? So this is very true, especially in the Philippine setting, no? So we have this, no? So motor trade, what else? Kay Servico, no? So we have this in Maribeles, no? In Bataan. And there's also different providers like this, no, around the metro. Laptop purchase. A student buys a laptop and agrees to pay monthly installment for 6 months. The seller and buyer sign an installment contract. Payments are spread over time instead of paid in full. So for installment contracts, we also basically we entered into installment contracts if we don't have the capacity to pay a huge sum of money outright. No? So that's why we pay it in installment and we enter into installment contract. Store installment plans. A store allows customers to buy items and pay directly to the store in installments. So ito, this is actually happening, no, in most say appliance store or department store. They offer home credit, no, at a low interest and most of the time zero interest. So appliance store installment plan, a family buys a refrigerator from an appliance store. So the store offers 12-month installment, zero interest plan. Monthly payments are made directly to the store. No? So it's store installment plan. Usually, uh, I'm not sure if I actually haven't encountered any store installment plans now, maybe in small and local community, because right now, with credit cards, with home credits, and all of these other other types of installment plans, maybe in a smaller community, so smaller appliance store, so furniture store installment plan. So a customer buys a sofa set. The store allows payment in monthly installments for 1 year. No bank is involved. The store provides the credit. No? So this is uh, an agreement between the store and the buyer. Classification of credit. So there are four class of credits. So number one, according to form, how credit is represented. Next, according to type of users, it depends on who uses the credit. According to maturity, it refers to the length of time before repayment is due. And finally, according to security. So it is a class of credit, whether it is based on whether a collateral is required. Okay, let's look at this one by one. No? So number one, according to form. So based on how credit is represented. Examples. Number one, open book credit. No? So running account. So meaning, uh, because you trust this debtor so much, you have an open credit line. And next is a written contracts or promissory notes. So let's look at these two. So an open book credit is a type of credit where a supplier allows a buyer to make repeated purchases over a period without immediate payment. Transactions are recorded in a running account, and the total amount due is settled at agreed intervals, whether it's weekly, monthly, or etc. So some key features, number one, no immediate payment per transaction, and credit is documented and tracked, and settlement occurs periodically. So open book credit, usually, again, this is based on trust and confidence, and obviously based on a strong credit standing. So you wouldn't dare to have this such a credit line, with someone who doesn't have a strong credit standing or credit risk rating. And that's why you know especially during our first session, I mentioned about making sure that you have uh, protected your credit risk rating. So we talk about even even the even paying your monthly dues on time, that also impacts your credit score. So in entering this open book credit, those different types of due diligence, you have to make sure that you have passed all of it. Otherwise, you can't be trusted to have this open book credit. So written contracts. So a grocery store signs a contract with a food supplier. The contract states the store can order goods on credit throughout the month. At the end of the month, the store pays the total amount due according to the contract. Supplier agrees to deliver goods on an open book basis. Monthly statements will be issued and payment is due within 15 days of statement date. On the other hand, a promissory note, small electronic retailers order items from a wholesaler. Each purchase is recorded, but instead of paying immediately, the retailer issues a promissory note, promising to pay the total sum at the end of the quarter. Ito class, the reason why I'm inputting these different clauses, no? So just to give you a flavor of what this open book credit is, and as well as what a promissory note looks like. So, for example, ABC Electronics promised to pay XYZ wholesalers $10,000 on or before March 31, 2026, covering all deliveries made from January 1 to March 31, 2026. So again, this is an agreement between two parties, and uh, it contains, the amount of money involved, including the terms. According to type of users, so based on who uses the credit, some examples are: number one, consumer credit, credit cards, personal loans, business credit or business loans, and third is government credit or treasury bonds. So consumer credit extended to individuals for personal use. These are basic example of consumer credits. No? So let's look at credit cards, for example. Using a Visa or MasterCard to buy groceries, electronics, or pay for travel with payment due monthly. No? So a bank, again, looking at your credit standing, whether you also have a savings or existing relationship with them, they will issue you credit card. So it's actually easy right now to uh, get a credit card. No, so some of them are in the malls, no, in 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 grocery stores, especially in SM, offering you credit cards, and some of them is promising that it will be approved within 15 minutes. Again, that's because they have this network, no, network that will be providing them with information regarding your credit standing. Um, So and that's why they can actually guarantee approval within 15 minutes. So personal loans, borrowing 50,000 from a bank to renovate a home to be repaid in fixed monthly installment over 5 years. So again, another example of a consumer credit. So we talk about this, no? So store installment plans. Buying a smartphone on a 12-month installment plan from a retail store. Business credit. Credit extended to businesses to fund operations, growth, or investment. No? So business loans. A bakery takes 200,000 loan from a bank to buy ovens and other equipments. So business loan. For this type of business loan, it's also not guaranteed, no, or not collateralized because this is just smaller amount. And at the same time, this is again based on due diligence. So the bank will provide you with application forms, and then they will also look at your finances. No, normally they will look at your tax returns or business tax returns, making sure that the business is actually uh, existing. No, they will require for business permit, business registration, no? Before they can actually sign you up or approve your business loan. Trade credit. A furniture store receives shipments of chairs and tables from a supplier and agrees to pay after 60 days. Again, trade credit. This is between two businesses or two parties agreeing to, enter into business transaction without any outright payment. No? So in this case, they agree to have a 60-day terms. No? So this is pretty much normal, but in 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 cases like this, normally the term is 30 days. You just need to make sure that as a furniture store, your suppliers will also offer you the same or even longer credit term because it will impact your cash flow if not. So imagine you're letting your customers to settle their account with you or their credit with you in 60 days. Yet here comes your suppliers um, asking you to pay them within 30 days. No? So that will impact your cash flow. So I mean, It's just the basic of this credit and collection. So line of credits, we talked about this briefly earlier, or we call this LOC. No? So as a tech startup has 100,000 revolving line of credit for short-term working capital needs. No? So a line of credit, it's simply like the topic earlier on open book credit. No? So usually this is with the bank. They can it's revolving because once you pay this up, you can always borrow from this fund. So it's kind of like a, a credit line. So it's the cap, no, up to which you can borrow money. So 100,000, that's the limit. So when you pay that up, say for example, month one, um, you borrowed against your line of credit for 50,000, month two, 30,000, month three, 20,000, and you haven't paid anything yet. So that's it. Unless you request for additional credit. This is also true with entering transactions with your suppliers. So right now I'm also engaged in part-time um, freelance activity with a logistic company based in the US. So this logistic company, they offer credit line with different carriers. So meaning uh, carriers can transport their goods, the goods of their customers, and don't pay outright, provided it's within the credit limit. So government credit, so credit extended by the government to raise funds, usually through securities. No examples: treasury bonds, buying a 10-year U.S. treasury bond for $1,000 that pays interest annually. In the Philippines class, normally this is being offered through different government banks. No? So for example, and also not just government banks but also different commercial banks. Now, I remember during the pandemic when the government raises money to basically combat the growing needs for vaccines at that time, and they don't have funds, no? So they offer this treasury bonds through RCBC. So RCBC at that time sent a blast email to all their clients, offering to purchase treasury bonds. So it was really a good investment because, as you know, government credit is always guaranteed. No, so it's not always, but it's guaranteed because government has unlimited funds, so they can guarantee payment for this type of funds. No? Government loans. Small Business Administration provides a loan to small business at the subsidized interest rate. So this is in the US, but actually this is also true here in the Philippines, no? So especially with SSS and other agencies offering small business loans. Savings bond. Citizens purchase savings bond from the government as a secure investment option. So we talk about this as well. According to maturity, based on length of repayment period, examples, short term or less than 1 year, intermediate term, 1 to 5 years, and then we have long term or over 5 years. So let's talk about and then provide example for each of them. So short term credit with a credit term of less than 1 year, credit that must be repaid within a year. As examples, Suki Trade Credit, a sari-sari store receives goods from a local wholesaler and agrees to pay in 30 days. Bank overdraft. let's discuss this. No? So a small business in Manila withdraws 50,000 over its account limit temporarily to pay suppliers. This class, no? So bank overdraft, basically you withdraw more than what you have in your savings account. So, for example, you have uh, 50,000 pesos um, savings in your bank account. No, a bank overdraft will happen when you withdraw more than 50,000 pesos. No, so you issue the check to your supplier for 100,000. So remember, you have only 50,000 in your bank. Yet you issue the check. No? So once that check is deposited by your supplier, it will post a bank overdraft in your account, no, for 50,000 50,000 pesos. Again, bank overdraft isn't widely accepted in the Philippine setting. No? Um, in fact, if this happened, you would be notified by the bank straight away, no, via email, or they will call you, or sometimes they will not clear the check. It's again based on your reputation, based on your credit standing, and based on your relationship with that particular bank. Short-term personal loans. So borrowing 20,000 from a lending company or pawn shop for emergency hospital bills repaid in 6 months. No? So again, these are the examples, some examples of short-term credit. Intermediate term credit, or 1 to 5 years. So credit repaid over a medium period, typically 1 to 5 years. Car loan, buying a Toyota Vios through BDO Auto Loan, or PNB Auto Loan repaid over 3 years. Small business loan. This is with the Department of Trade and Industry, one of the uh, agencies of the Philippines. No? A neighborhood bakery gets a 500,000 loan from the Department of Trade and Industry or a local bank repaid in 4 years. So again, class, no, we're talking about here, we're talking about terms here. But don't forget, this is also, the longer the term, the higher the interest. In fact, during the first years of credit, you're actually paying more interest. No? So the installment payment in the accounting records, you split this between interest and principal. No? So more actually goes to in the interest payment. And also medium-term personal loan. No? So borrowing 100,000 from a bank to renovate a home, repaid over 2 years. So in fact, some banks are also tying up with different companies. No? So sometimes these are also their payroll partners. For example, China Bank Savings. No? This is very, their marketing is really making sure that they reach to these different corporate accounts. So they're partnering, they're offering, road shows, making sure that they can present with their employees uh, for free, no? So, or for different perks, no? So like just for maintaining a certain balance with the bank. So in exchange, these partner banks can uh, encourage these people or this employees to loan with them. Again, in these types of marketing activities, there's actually no uh, guarantee that in case the employee isn't able to pay, that the company is going to settle the balance. There is no such thing. Long-term credit or over 5 years. Now, credit repaid over more than 5 years often for major investment. Housing loan, buying house through Pag-ibig Fund or BDO. BDO being one of the biggest commercial banks in the Philippines, and Pag-ibig Fund. No? So if you're not familiar with Pag-ibig Fund, basically this is the um, home agency, no? In the Philippines. So they offer a loan at a lower interest and usually longer terms compared with a commercial bank. Corporate bond. A Philippine company like San Miguel or Ayala issues a 10-year bond to fund infrastructure projects. So again, this is a good investment opportunity because the likes of Ayala and San Miguel, these are really stable corporate institutions in the Philippines. So when they offer this 10-year bond, it's usually paid uh, long term. Student loan, borrowing 200,000 through the SSS Educational Loan Program or private banks for a college degree repaid over 10 years. And so these are some example of long-term credit. So I hope at this stage, using these different examples that you may be aware of because you talk to your parents, you talk to your uncles. No? So these are some of the common examples of different credits. Next, we have according to security. So based on whether collateral is required. Example, secured credit, home loans, car loans, and next, unsecured credits. Examples are credit cards and personal loans. Secured credit. Now let's look at secured credit first. Credit that requires collateral or an asset to guarantee repayment. For example, home loan. Pag-ibig Fund housing loan for buying a house. The house itself serves as collateral. So actually, that's the reason why Pag-ibig offers lower interest and longer terms. Basically, because this type of loan, home loan, is collateralized. No? So meaning, if the person owing money with Pag-ibig, entering into home loan agreement, paying this much monthly amortization, isn't able to pay, I'm not sure, say for 5 consecutive months, then Pag-ibig may be forced to get the asset or the house and lot, from that person by way of filing, and it's actually back in the contract. So it's stipulated in the contract. Car loan, BDO or BPI auto loan for a Toyota Vios. The car is collateral until fully paid. In fact, after paying for the car in full, that's the only time that you can um, file for full ownership. So you still have to do another step, processing it with the Land Transportation Office. No? So during the course of the loan, the BDO or BPI, again, two commercial banks in the Philippines, offering you a loan for a Toyota Vios. No? That Toyota Vios is actually the collateral for this loan. Business loan with collateral. No? Sari-sari store or a convenience store owner borrows 300,000 from a bank using their property or vehicle as security. Again, no? This is business loan but back with a collateral, no, in the form of property or vehicle as security. No? So the back of your at the back of your certificate of title, it will be included there that this is used as collateral. So for this period, so this is done in order to protect, no, other, because you might use it again to secure another loan. No? That's why it's being put as a stipulation or as a note at the back of the certificate of title. Unsecured credits. No? So credit granted without requiring collateral. It relies on borrower's credit worthiness. Again, we go back to your credit standing. We go back to your credit ranking or credit score. That's why it's really important, class. No, so as early as now that you build your credit standing. No, there are people who do not want credit cards because they don't trust themselves, no, with a credit card. That's okay, but having credit cards also help build your credit ranking or credit standing. No? So imagine if you have this much um, credit limit under your name. No? So it will become easier for you to secure loan in the future because who knows, no? Maybe in the future you would like to open up your own business or expand your business. No? So from one store expanding it to 10. So obviously, if you don't have available funds with you, you would want to borrow with bank. So my advice here is to build your credit standing or credit score as early as now. No? So again, it's not just having credit cards, it's also making sure that you pay your bills on time. Say, for example, Meralco bill under your name. What else? A postpaid account under your name. So paying them all on time, again, impacts your credit score. No, in fact, class, no, if you're familiar with Shopee, Lazada, and what's the other TikTok installment sale. So these platforms often offer installment plan, zero interest. So if you're paying them regularly on time and in full, then that also helps build your credit score. Okay, so credit cards using BDO or BPI credit card to buy groceries or pay bills. Personal loans, no? So borrowing 50,000 from a bank or lending company for home renovation or tuition. Then we have salary loan. This is a different loan again. Ha? Pag-ibig or GSIS salary loan based on the employee's income and repayment capacity. Now, sa pag-ibig again, they offer salary loan, home loan, multipurpose loan, GSIS. It's the same, but GSIS only offers to government employees. So again, they look at your total income and your repayment capacity. No? So they check your repayment capacity because you may also be having different loans, no, from different providers. Yes, John Lee. Sorry, I just thought
Sir,
yes.
sorry po I'm late na. Tanong ko lang po kung yung credit score and credit rating po ba iisa lang po ba yun?
Yes, John Lee. No? So
Okay.
uh, they're 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 the same. No? So basically, credit score, credit standing, credit ranking. So these are terms used differently, but these are of the same definition. No? So say for example, a bank will refer to your credit score. No? So overall. Thanks, Shanley. Okay. So rationale for classifying credit. So why do we have to classify credits? Number one, helps lenders assess risk. Two, guides borrowing and lending decisions. Three, improves financial and economic planning. So we'll look at these three reasons and then we'll also provide examples. Helps lender assess risk. So the rationale is, classifying credit allows lenders, banks, financing companies, or even suppliers to evaluate how risky it is to lend money to a borrower. By understanding the type, term, and security of the credit, lenders can anticipate potential default and set interest rates or collateral requirements accordingly. At the class, um, for example, would you still offer credit to someone with low credit score? Maybe, because it's still business, but instead of offering regular interest, you might offer a higher interest. No? And di ba, we have this principles in business where the higher the risk, the higher the return. No? So offering or entering into credit transaction with someone with low credit score means, the higher the chance that this creditor can default. Maybe he won't be able to pay you on time. So that's the risk that you're entering. So therefore, if you're willing to take that risk, then you will also impose a higher interest. No, but personally, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't be entering into any business transactions with this, you know, uh, low credit standing. So a BDO branch is considering giving a loan to a small business owner in Quezon City. If the loan is secured with property as collateral, the risk is lower. So the interest rates may be lower because in case of default, you can always get the property, no? Because it's a collateral. On the other hand, if it's unsecured, like a personal loan, the risk is higher. So there's a high chance that this person won't be able to pay you. So the bank charges a higher interest rate or approves a smaller amount. So you say class, no? So this is why it's important to um, classify credit, no? So uh, according to whether it's collateralized or not, or according to the terms. So guides borrowing and lending decisions. So credit classification helps both borrowers and lenders make informed choices. Borrowers understand which type of credit suits their needs and repayment capacity, while lenders decide the appropriate terms and conditions. So let's look at this scenario. A young professional in Cebu wants to buy a motorcycle. Secured option, apply for a BPI auto loan with the bike as collateral. This might give a lower interest rate. Unsecured option, so take a personal loan from a local bank without collateral, which may have higher interest rate but faster approval. So you have two options. No? So this young professional, it's either enter into a secured loan back with collateral, being the motorcycle as the collateral, no? And pay lower interest. Another option is enter into unsecured option via taking a personal loan from a local bank without collateral but paying higher interest. No? So again, second option, this may be true for those people without um, high credit standing, or person who just starting up, who doesn't actually build its credit score. So knowing the difference helps the borrower choose the best option for their budget, while the bank set terms based on the risk. Next, improves financial and economic planning. So classifying credit helps both individuals and governments plan finances. It allows households, businesses, and policymakers to anticipate repayment schedules, cash flow needs, and economic impacts of borrowing and lending. So scenario, household level. A family in Davao takes a Pag-ibig housing loan, long-term secured credit. They know their monthly amortization for the next 20 years, which helps them plan their budget. So government level, Philippine government issues treasury bonds. Again, treasury bonds is a long-term government credit to fund infrastructure projects. So by knowing the amount and term, the government can plan repayments and project cash flows without disrupting the economy. So again, by making sure that you entered um, into a credit that is suitable to your budget, it helps you improves your financial and economic planning. Okay, so actually that ends our discussion, no, on credit classification. No? But before we leave, let me just give you some instruction for the prelim. No? So prelim exam, this week is your preliminary exam week. No? So currently, I'm not sure whether this is going to be done in person. So meaning you have to go to MLQU in Quezon City or online. No? So I'm not sure. I'll get that information with Ma'am Eden, and I'll provide you with feedback today also. No? So I'll just course it through your class Fidelv. Okay, so again, no, so for your preliminary exam, it will be multiple choice, but I'll post it. I'll post the guidance, no, through our Google Classroom. Okay, so that's all for the day. Stay safe and stay healthy. I'll see you again next session. Ingat kay class. Take care.
Thank you po.
Thank you.